Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're having tea with New Nicks. Got a different mug. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Are you out of your dream state? Hello, hello, hello. I am drinking mugwort tea this morning. That is a good tea for fertility. It promotes dream state, things of that nature. If you know, you know. Mugworts definitely. You can definitely type it up anywhere you can find mugworts, right? Good tea though, good tea. This one that I found, it actually comes pre-mixed in the pack. The only thing I really do is add a little bit of honey and stuff, and it's ready to go. It's so good. This one, the packaging, I think it's Korean or Asian or something. So I don't understand what's going on the package. All I know is that it's what I asked for. It's exactly what I asked for because I did have it translated once it got here. Mm. Oh my gosh. That's good, 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 good. So, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy birthday. Happy approach of the new year. March is on the way. We have a lot to do before March comes. I was able to do my homework last night for you all. I've been writing my notes. But I woke up out of a dream, right? I woke up at 3:33 on the dot this morning. It's not that I don't have alarms set and things of that nature, but a lot of times I wake up before then or right after. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to wake up and put the thing on snooze and sleep a little bit longer, which was what happened. What happened was I felt a little I felt a little problematic when I got kicked out of the dream state this morning because I was being nosy. I was actually about to start moving around and because at first I was just going through the dream, then I was like, hold up. I think it's some stuff that I need to see. And the next thing you know, I was kicked out. And I woke up. It was like I almost wanted to break back in because it was some stuff I wanted to see. But it wasn't without telling me what had happened. So I go to the kitchen, right? Because I'm like, I need some tea. I say my prayers and everything. I said, I need some tea. I need some tea. So I grab my heartstone. Yay, good morning. I grab my heartstone, right? This is the beautiful heart shaped one with all the little distinct freckles on it. It's beautiful. I love it. I found it the other day when I was out shopping. Okay, so I go into the kitchen to make my tea because I want tea this morning. However, something says change your mug, right? Change your mug. So that might be significant for somebody. Somebody has to change their mug or might need to change their mug or has changed their mug or is trying to hide their mug so it doesn't look the same, right? So someone is trying to change their mug. And look at this beautiful cup. It's Chicago, Midwest, and you see the moon. Very intuitive, right? Keep in mind, take what resonates. This whole thing is a message. I'm excited because I got kicked out of the dream state for a reason. So hear this. I go and I get my tea. I'm going to go and make my tea, right? I noticed that my tea canister is not where I left it, right? So I thought I had a bit of a rodent problem because when it gets wintertime, the little field people tried to come in. So I was doing some home improvement behind the stove. I'm looking for the tea canister. The tea canister, the glass tea canister has spilt over. So the tea has been spilled in whatever form. The tea has been spilt, right? It's clear glass, clear as glass. So there's a glass house and the tea has been spilled, okay? I lie to you not. This is what's happening. Okay, so there's tea being spilled in the glass house. Somebody threw rocks in the glass house. Okay, so apparently somebody is sweeping around someone else's porch. Okay, so the tea is hot this morning. I'm trying to tell you, this mugworts. This mugworts. Okay, so the tea got spilled. So I put it together, right? I put it together, and the top So it's about top. I don't know if it's about head or I don't know if it's about top. It's about top, right? So the top was cracked. The top was cracked. So either it was some bad top or somebody's top is cracked. So somebody's going through maybe a small, maybe a big psychosis, right? Or they lost their damn mind. They're delusional, right? Or peep this angle. They're hoping that they confuse you to the point of delusion, because what better way to control you if I get you to the point of delusion, right? Then I can pretty much just put my own facts in there and pretty much say you're crazy if you don't believe me, right? Boom. So we got the tap that's cracked. I don't know if it's a man or a female, but right now the tea has been spilled. The Chicago mug, the moon. Something about night shift. Somebody on a night shift, graveyard shift. I don't know. The tea has been spilled. Okay, but what happened when I got kicked out of the dream state? Let me tell you. Make sure Alex isn't around. Bear country. Okay, bear with me. I gotta do this. Bear country. Bear country and lot lizards. Oh my God. I seen a card the other day. It had the lizard on it, and I couldn't understand the lizard. I couldn't explain the lizard. Lot lizards. And it was a small lot lizard, right? So, peep this. Bear country. For those of you who have men that leave for periods of time, and you might even have a woman that goes out of town because she works out of town. Okay? So, there are lot lizards, right? And lot lizards have evolved. So they've become whatever kind of lizards they have to be to just basically sliver over to the next state and do what they have to do and then slither back. Basically, that's how I'm looking at that. That's what the lizard is, right? Somebody is on the night shift, right? It's always somebody on the night shift. On the night shift. On the night shift. Ooh, Lionel Richie. I said Lionel yesterday. So there is somebody who has aspirations of being more than what they are, but they can't get past the things that they do. The things that they do are actually the barriers to which holds them back from what they pretty much need to be getting on to, right? Ooh, illegitimate child, right? Lionel Richie, mixed, biracial, that sort of thing. So what's happening is someone's sitting in front of your face and they're telling you that baby is maybe a grandbaby or a niece or something. Honestly, that's their baby. And dang, that baby be looking old. That baby look like that baby name is Annette. Oh my gosh, that baby got a little bit of mustache, a little bit too, something like mine. But she only a couple months. So this is an older guy who has locked up a younger girl, and you believe that that's maybe his granddaughter or niece or cousin or something. No, girl, that is that baby, and that little girl ain't planning on gonna get no job, but that old man said he would take care of her. So they're working as teamsters. So it's basically a young girl, older guy, or vice versa, or just two men together, and one's younger, one older, and they use the couple scheme to basically disarm people, or they just use the power of two to go in and get three, and then they live off of one of those functioning parts. But in this case, this man is saying, oh, I want you to talk to my granddaughter, I want you to talk to my niece, I want you to talk to my grandbaby. But that's not his grandbaby, that's his whole baby. It's just that they have agreed that he can go and move in and sleep with anybody he wants, as long as them bills get paid and that baby get taken care of. And it's really, really hot lick during tax season, right? And it looked like he might give you access to direct deposit, but no, it probably ain't gonna go that way. It's going to change up a little bit, and he might come in with a business, but it might not be his business, and he might have a lot of things to say about the business. They went in together with the business and some other stuff, and he's always going to put it on the female while the business is gone. But honestly, that was his plan in the beginning. He's got a lot of women with a lot of businesses across the Midwest. It's the Midwest. He's got a lot of women with a lot of businesses across the Midwest. But the issue is not that man's type. The girl is not that man's type. He is a lot lizard himself. Bear country. Okay, bear country. So if he stops taking showers and he's gone out, he's a trucker, he stops taking showers, not only is he not no longer sleeping with the lot lizards, he's sleeping with the other bears, and him and the other bears are bearing. So that's the only case in which you don't pick the bear. Okay, so bear country. Right, okay. There's really going to be a reducing the need for lot lizards because the bears are storming the country. Oh gosh. So sometimes when you see the truck, that tractor trailer rocking, it's two knobs are knocking. Ooh. All right. Now in the local news, decline in BBLs. Ding. Anyway, I haven't even gotten to the tea. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even gotten to the tea. So that's that part. That's that part with the bear country. For some reason, I had to change my mug. Let's start over because I have to get this message out. When the comments come, it makes it cloudy. Maybe we should pray first and then we can get the rest out because I feel like this is a lot of self-node, and the issue being is I'm not a coddler. So when you come to the page, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on at the moment. And I'm not going to consider who's on the other side of the screen. It's because I shouldn't have to. You come here to hear what I have to say, and I do the best that I can with my delivery. Although I still have to say what it is, okay? Or it's going to repeat in my notes. But let's get us some. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had to tell someone about cleansing, about spiritual cleansing. If you are on this journey and you are trying to get to your highest of high, you need to do some spiritual cleansing. I don't know what that looks like in your life, but there are definite resources in which you can find out which kind of spiritual cleansing that you need, because cleanliness is next to godliness, and you don't know in which areas, and it's probably not the area which you're thinking of right now. It's probably another area that you got to clean. Either way, if you clean all areas, you will not get caught slipping. Okay, so there's somebody who likes to write the ones. They like to play around with the ones. That is their form of magics, right? And they hide it in the form of lottery. So if you are around a male and they have a fixation on numbers, just know that you may or may not be around a warlock. They have a very special way with numbers. They have a very, very special way of handling numbers, looking at numbers, and seeing numbers. I'm not saying that every accountant is a warlock, but what I'm going to say is there's magic in the numbers, okay? And some men know that. This is why they're so fixated with power and status, is because they know a thing or two about numbers, okay? This is not always a bad thing because, like I say, there's good and there's bad on every side of the on every side of the prism, okay? So be mindful of intentions. Take notes. Okay, so we're going to do 111 since that's what I'm being called to do. All right. Praise ye the Lord. I will praise the Lord with my whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. The works of the Lord are great, sought out of all of them that have pleasure therein. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath showed his people the power of the works of his works, and that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. The works of his hands are verity and judgment, and all his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done to in truth and uprightness. It's a little dark in here. He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Selah, so be it. Amen. Let's see. Excuse me. There goes that covenant again. Okay. I love it when the when the word is so live. Okay, so yeah. What I was saying about that couple thing. See, the most disarming thing in this country nowadays is something that's supposed to be the most thank you. Something that's supposed to be the most precious. It's supposed to be the most innocent. And people think that once you acquire this thing that your ride on the karmic side is done. No, it's not. Sometimes it's just begun, and sometimes it's the one thing that introduces you into karmic land. Okay, so there's a covenant that has been made, and the one of the most common covenants that we make is marriage, and a lot of people are weaponizing marriage, and weapon is to be weapon. Marriage is to be weaponized. Ooh, I think somebody didn't want me to turn that corner. They didn't want me to turn that corner. Marriage can be weaponized. It's always weaponized. Because if you can have one person, if you can have another person hooked up to another person, there's always leverage, right? Also, it's a very disarming position to be in, because really, when a person that has another person comes through, you believe that those two people have the capacity to hold each other down. This is what you believe. This is the illusion that people believe. Honestly, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what the idea was supposed to be. But remember, smoke and mirrors, my dear, from my darling, from the lions I shall deliver you. Sometimes the lion is your spouse. You ever hear that thing? So sometimes you got to turn your head to get out of the lion's mouth, because sometimes you don't want to just be playing around in there, right? So sometimes you're in the lion's mouth when you're in that union, that covenant. A lot of times they have those statues outside of the churches and everything else and everywhere else. You know, the lions, the Leo, because they're bold enough to put their foot on your damn neck. Okay. I got a cut. I got it cut when I was messing with that glass top. Be careful. Be careful. There are blood wars, family wars, friends wars, job wars, and the best way to fight spiritual warfare is to enter your family. Yeah, the best way to spiritually rage warfare on you is to get up in your business, to get up in your net, to become your spouse, to become your child, to become your baby father, to become your spouse. Really, the best can do it. If you have no ties to a person that you want to go in and destroy, and you can't destroy from the outside, is you go in. And that is one of the most disarming positions. So people are using the guise of marriage and partnership as a Trojan horse to come in and rob you, kidnap you, beat you, burn you, cut you, grape, that sort of thing, right? And this is what's happening. And people are using people's need and perceived loneliness to make you to mark you, and come in and try to disarm you and your family. These people are coming in, and not only are they trying to get to your personal business, your social security number, namely, and all of your old places because they're looking for money. These people work all day to not work. These people are very diabolical. And a lot of times, if you have a spouse that does not get up when you get up, and sometimes they will get up when you get up because they're pretending to have a job and to be productive as you, because they need to mirror you so that you are disarmed, so that they're able to come in and wage this warfare. Once they get in a position of trust next to your shoulder, whichever shoulder you choose, this makes your family and your friends, this disarms your family and your friends, and they're also able to farm. And dang, this is why I needed to get back into my message. Royal Farms, bam, there you go. So let's rewind, because I was getting to that. Sometimes I go too fast in the message, right? Confirmation, okay, babes? Love you so much. Bitch rising. I love her. She's in pink. Okay, but here we are. I would never feel like certain people are copying me, because our delivery and our timing is two different things. So for the ones who I know who are telling the truth, and I can tell by their messages, I would never think that, darling. All of us are really original, the ones who I know who know. But there are some that are questionable only because of certain things. So I won't mention what those things are, because yeah, there are eyes everywhere. Their eyes are watching. So I won't say, but yes, darling. Yes, darling. We are definitely in sync. Oftentimes I won't even watch your messages until after I did mine, just to make sure of that. And honestly, it's fucking creepy. Okay, it's really creepy, but we're definitely in linear alignage. I'm almost scared to come within 5 miles of you, honestly. That shit is going to be electrically weird. Okay, so yeah. And if you notice that your electronics are starting to do weird things around you, it's you, darling. It's you. It's definitely you. Unprovoked, it's definitely you, darling. So let's get back into this. All right, so we got, you're thirsty and you didn't get a big cup, but you got a Slurpee. 24/7, like 7-Eleven. Too convenient. Way too convenient. Convenience stores. Then we've got the Royal Farms. So that's how you farm the royal. It's been done for years. You do not go in as a thief. You go in as a companion. You go in as a proper suitor. The honey trap has been around for years and years and centuries, and before the hands of time were even created, the honey trap was always there, my dear. It happened with Samson and Delilah. It happened with Solomon. King Solomon, he's that man. He's that man. He's that man. He was the player and the pimp. However, he lived by the pussy and he nearly died by the coochie. Okay, you understand? So, Royal Farms. And that's crazy because they put a Royal Farms everywhere. And what's so, they've got artificial filler in the chicken. I know so because one day one of my coworkers, she sat by me and she wanted to eat a chicken sandwich. And I say, you know what? I think chicken sandwiches are weird. The reason why is because why did you put breaded chicken on bread to make it a sandwich? Honestly, as I've grown older and gotten, more familiar with culinary skills, I think a chicken sandwich, especially if the chicken is boneless, and it has nothing to do with trying to survive on a coach bus on a trip, or the maxi bus toward New York, or just a long trip period. Why are you eating chicken on bread? Can no one cook? That is a lot of starch. Do you know you're high and diabetical? Okay, so rant cut. So yeah, Royal Farms open 24/7 artificial filler. The gas is low grade. The gas is low grade. So somebody's smoking a bunch of dirt trying to get through this thing. Somebody's smoking it's not gas. I guess they call it reefer when it's not loud. I guess that's what it is. Okay, so it's Royal Farms. So the Royals have been farming for this way for years, be it man or female. The best way to wage warfare is from the inside. As a Trojan horse, that is how it is done. It's been done to so many that a lot of us cannot mention it or cannot word it or do not know what happened until years later, or we get that aha moment and a paradigm shifts and we're like, hey, that's what happened, because during that period of time I lost a lot of money, or things became missing in my house, or my life started to suffer greatly and consistently during the time in this person's presence. However, there are some special cases in which someone just enters your life and exits very fast because they don't want to be seen as the culprit. In those cases, you'll be losing for years and years on end, not understanding that this person only came for the initial visit. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That person has already been able to infiltrate your family, a friend, some business institution that is in relation with you, and has been able to get your demographics in one way or another. This person has gone into, and don't let it be an old player from the Himalayas who already knows how to live off of people's ignorance and illusions. Somebody who always has money but never has a job. Okay. Somebody who does not take relationships very seriously, yet they expect you to take them very seriously, because the guise of a relationship is their best mode of living. They have to be good at horizontal mambo. Even if they're not good, they need you to believe it. And even if they're not good, they'll do things to compensate because they need you. And sometimes they do have funds of their own. However, it is strategically met out. And those are the most dangerous games, when they're strategically met out, because they're trying to get you in more than one way, not just financially. They're trying to get you spiritually and emotionally. Those are the worst ones, because they disappear and they come back, and they just hope when you see them, they evoke enough emotion in you that you might want to lie down with them, pay a bill, or worse, put your life in their hands. And that might look like a random trip, and you might not want to go into the woods. There's hunting there, dear. There's hunting there. There are so many ways in which a Trojan horse can be purported upon a person that is only looking for companionship and friendship. This is how they get your boundaries down. This is how they get your, get you off guard. So be very aware of the people who come in. They love bomb. That's the short-term thing. Like, I remember one day I go out with this guy. He spends like about a good $1,000. He spent $1,000, and while that was nice, it had me worried a little bit, because when a person spends this amount of money, they want something. And if they do it right away and very fast, that means they want results very, very fast. Because from what I understood, you really have no business spending a certain amount of money when your tires are bald and certain things aren't being affected in your life. If I can look in the back and I can see that the upholstery isn't kept quite up, in certain things, So when you spend this money, I'm noticing that this is going to end up in a mental battle, because why'd you spend this? So mentioning nothing, I let the moment go by. The next week, The same person says, my phone might be off in 2 days. I'm laughing because I'm like, yes, exit time. But the thing is, he's not thinking that I've thought past that moment. See, when you spent that money, it was to encourage and impress very fast. It was to make me feel as though you were in alignment with getting this again, because usually you're not supposed to spend things that you're not able to regenerate. Well, at least in the adult world that we all live in, especially when you don't live your life by a grifter's oath, okay? So this person having kids, you understand, you have mouths to feed and things of that nature. They spent this amount on a person very fast. So the person was a grifter and already strategically planned to spend the money with hopes of giving me a, I won't pull out the big violin, I'll pull out the mini violin, because that's exactly how I felt about it, like very minimal. So when he started saying, I'm not going to be able to pay my cell phone bill, it became a problem that he was going to have to deal with, and it became a solution for me. Partly because now I don't have to say what's really obvious. You tried to loop me in. Be careful of those tax season habits. That's a tax season habit. Get them while I got it, so that when I don't have it, I can just cry and say I spent it on you. So how dare you not be nice enough to spend money on me? That's that. I am not a genie and you are not a bottle. Jinkies. I mixed all that in. So yeah, so that was what, Thelma and Samantha all at the same time. Wonderful. So yeah, that's what that looks like. Somebody's like spends a amount of money, and that's love bombing, because if you actually don't give them something because they poured out on you, oh my God, I spent my money on you, and you're a selfish bitch, you're a gold digger because I spent my money on you and you were supposed to give me endless access. I didn't mention to you that was the only $1,000 I was going to get this year. I didn't mention to you that was exactly how I planned to hook you in. I also didn't mention to you that I didn't even pay my cell phone bill before I spent all this money. I also didn't mention to you that I didn't feed my kids before I spent all this money. By the way, has anybody caught up with that grip? I'll pause for recognition. Right. Get a grip. On reality, you're delusional. You have visions of grandeur. I understand it's because you're a very small man, and when a thing like that happens in front of you, it changes your brain to make you think that you've got to beat down and break down every bad bitch because she actually broke you down in your own casa. Ooh, disrespecting in la casa. La casa, very pico, 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 papi. Small, petito, papi. Oh, I'm not talking about the equipment. I'm talking about the man. Very, very, very small-minded. Very, very small-minded. So you feel as though you were going to, after the age of 50, run around like a child, and you still had bills and a FICO score to mind, yet you were minding booty. How dare you? While pretending to be Clive Davis, while Clive Davis has no findings with you. Tis to be surrounded by so much talent and to have none and not to be able to extract any. You must be very envious, your friends. You put yourself in proximity of so much. You've saturated yourself in so much talent, yet you've been able to retain none. Is because you're too covetous. You do not appreciate the talent that you do have. So you run around and you try to steal other people's talents. You try to extract little bits and pieces for yourself, hoping that you hit a cash cow in someone else's moment. You're a sad person. You aren't even a shadow of yourself right now. You're just a shadow of a tapestry of someone else. And it's so bad that when they turn on the light, that all of you leaves. So then you're just an empty skinwalker. And since you've walked so heavy, you have to be a very soft talker. But this is how you live your life. Hey, Miss Parker. You be in people's face. You pushing people's space. I don't know. They shouldn't trust you to roll up. You might be lace. You can't even pick up a really consistent pace. You appear to have taste. Maybe this is about race. Yeah, that's the case. All right. How are you possessive with no possessions, entitled to dust, envious of roaches, fighting for crumbs? Envious of roaches, fighting for crumbs. Your mother is not on my channel, my dear. Go find her. She might be on drugs. Did you sell it to her, or did she get it from your stash? I hope it's not meth. Go get her teeth. Anyway, misplaced anger. That seems to be the gist of things. Misplaced anger. Stalking the old boo. They got a new crew. Everybody confused too. They about to ghost you. Oh, 3 reasons, maybe 2. The results of adults playing games too long. It's rather embarrassing to watch a bunch of so-called grown men play hide and seek. It looks the same as it did during childhood. People who aren't playing can see you. I remember watching kids playing hide and seek. And it's so funny when they get into it that they really don't realize that people are watching them playing the game of hide and seek. So if you are a part of the moving pieces and someone is sitting still next to you, they saw where you ran to, darling. Ali Aliasen free? Okay. Oh, I covered a little Steiner stuff the other day, the Epstein stuff. And it's not so much as him, because you don't want to put it on one person, because no man has all that power. Not no man on this earth. So he's just an angle. He's just a pair of eyes to tangibly try to envision through, since so much of his business has been allegedly aired out. Okay, we'll say allegedly, because we're going to be reasonable here, right? We don't want to put ourselves in a position to where someone may or may not be able to litigate against us, because let's just be real about it. A lot of people have been out there running their mouth recklessly, not fearing any repercussions and consequences. So for the ones that are knowing and all and basically seeing what I'm saying, I'm picking up what I'm putting down. Let's get back to the resonate and the disclaimers and the allegedlys, because it's a lot of stuff that's about to go down very, very soon. And discoveries, because I saw a detective today, and I saw a detective in a place where I don't see him very often. And I knew it was a detective by what he drove, by what he looked like, by how he dressed, by the way his tie looked, by the round of his belly while he was standing there looking. And for a minute, we locked eyes. I couldn't see his face, but I saw his shape, and I'm looking at him. And I said, that looks like exactly what it looks like on the TV when they do the dispositions, and they do their their press conferences. So that's what I saw it to be. So I don't know who need to hear that. I saw a detective. And I've been calling Ace Ventura. I think I said it last month. Ace Ventura, pet detective. This ain't no pet detective, and I don't think he's that damn funny. But there might have something to do with a bit of cross dressing, a bit of confusion, identity theft, some stuff like that. And he was taking pictures. So usually when they start doing that, something else is about to wrap up. Don't know. Hey, has nothing to do with me. Boom. Okay, so yeah, some of us are victims of our family's ambitions or lack thereof. Most of us are victims of our family's ambitions or lack thereof. It's different levels to being a victim to your family or lack thereof. Sometimes some of us are victims of other people's families. Stay with me. So we have middle class versus the slums. The issue for most children, because it happens mostly to children, because children are the ones that are most easy to damage, manipulate, and control because they don't have autonomy. They haven't had autonomy, or their autonomy is not really respected for years upon years. And in these formative years, this is when the middle class becomes versus the slum. So there is big triangulation that happens at that point in your life as a child. In middle class, a lot of times, if you don't have a really good middle class house, what I'm saying is the parents aren't very attentive and you don't have a lot of extracurricular activities, and the kids aren't have idle minds, and they aren't very creative. There are things that might happen in a middle class home that might not happen, that happen in a slum at the same time. But being a child, you think that one or the other is better, because on TV, if you're a middle class child, you don't believe that certain things should be happening, because on TV, your life is represented a little bit by that, depending on where you are. So when things that you deem to be monstrous happen in your home as a middle class child, you get up and you leave. And sometimes you run to the hood or the slums, so to say. But the problem is, you run to the slums as a middle class child, and they say they don't want you down there. They're mad at you because if you come from such a good place, why are you here? And not only that, you are down here and we have the roaches here. You want some of our roaches. We don't want to share our roaches with you. Go back. So now you're abused. One, by your middle class family. No one asked you why. All they saw was that you came with your middle class things to the slums. And now they don't like you at the slums because you don't look like them and they don't understand you. And if you had better, why are you over here? And now that you are fresh meat in our situation, the people want to feast on you. They no longer want to feast on us. We don't want you here. And the same could be said of the child of the slums. She's in the slums. She gets treated horribly. She's getting tired of being treated horribly. She sees everybody else being treated horribly. So she travels to the upper class people, and the upper class people are asking, why are you here? You're dirty, this, that, and the third. And the same thing happens. Again, why are you here? We don't want you here. You are low class. The men might want you because they don't have to look as high as they do for us. So they're going to get low and they're going to take you. So we don't want you here. So then you're stuck in the proverbial middle. And the only thing that everybody has in common is that they weren't wanted and they were not understood, and they were abused on both extremes, both by the high rootin' tootin' people, and they were treated awful by the rock dwellers. So where are you supposed to be? when all you want is safety. You can't find safety because they didn't have safety, so they don't feel like you have a right to be safe down there. And if you go back up high, they're like, you're not safe because you've been down there. But they visit down there the same. It's just that you don't know. You don't know that they do it. They cloak themselves, they dress up in a different type of outfit, and they go toward the slums and they pretend that they're one of them, and they steal all the things and the cues from them, and they go back in their high places and they look low. And they tell you that you shouldn't come from there because you actually don't hide, that you hang in the slums. And we do. How dare you? That's tacky. But another thing they don't understand is that their mentality is in the slums. It does not care if you put on $1,000 jacket. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million wig. If your brain is still in the slums, my dear, how dare you? Because what is most common, the commonality between the upper class and the lower class, or whatever have you, is the amount of abuse and delusion that is being passed around. So it's not really good to attach your inside narrative to other people because you're doing damage. You're doing the same damage that you would not openly want or receive. So you find a group or a clique or whatever, and you feel safest amongst them, but you all are doing this to each other on the inside from the outside. So it really doesn't matter. You're all recycling the same delusion in and out. The only person who seems not to be delusional is the person that has the freaking audacity to live out loud on both sides of the street. And the bravery to actually adjust accordingly in order not to offend anyone. But that's perceived as weak because you don't want to offend anyone, only because you know the damage that could be done on both sides of the coin. You've seen it, you've witnessed it, you've tasted the taste, and you don't like it. It makes you regurgitate all people who feel as though they are desirable by default. Desirable by default? Is that what you want? That is breadcrumbing to the max. So, my dear, the class war is ridiculous. Are you of man or are you of beast? Are you civilized or are you not? It really comes down to that. Is your brain dynamic? Is it able to change? Is it able to fire off different thoughts, different chemical reactions? Or are you to remain a petri dish in the hood? Or are you going to actually mix up some type of formula and patent it to the point of your life improving? It's very marketable. It is very marketable. And yes, that's our message. And yes, I wrote this stuff down. I do. I really do. My tea is a little mugwort. That tea was amazing. Good. Do we want, okay, obsidian, alum, amethyst, ethereal, Are you not part of the people? People are awake. It's called 24 hours a day. I mean, in this realm, other people just call it mid-morning. Early before dawn. Sunrise. Why would I want to limit my time here in the best time of my life, which is living? Bless you. I think my son's allergic to the bullshit. We have the devil. First card I'm looking at this morning. Obsession. Stalking. Extremities. Very much. That is extreme. Ew. Somebody want to spend something, or somebody trying to do something to the extreme. Somebody is really fixated on a 10 of Pentacles. They're really fixated on a relationship. Somebody's really fixated on having a relationship, a partnership, a companionship. 50-50. So yeah, somebody is really, really obsessed about having this 10 of Pentacles. Somebody wants that, or it looks like they just want an opportunity to talk. However, it's funny. For whoever's looking at this is for one of my Geminis. I'm very sure this is not me, but it looks like somebody I know. I got a Gemini who has somebody who's a suitor, and her dog is looking at him. And he's figuring him out. Look how curious the dog is. She's looking at the dog because she's like, if the dog bites him, I'm going to leave. My issue is the shape of his head. His occipital brain, the way that it's dented in the back makes me think he's either older or wiser because he has the beard too. But look how he's wearing this really cool cloak. But this looks like a wiser guy. You know, the indentation in the back of his head makes me think he's got either a PC head or he's an older guy, right? He's aged a little bit to where his indentation in the back of his head is... Trust me, if you've ever been in the medical field, certain things you pay attention to, right? Okay, well, just go be in alignment where you need to be at. But anyway, yeah, so we've got... She looks like a very smart girl. She's like got a page boy. Her hair's like, you know, shoulder length. And she's rapping to this guy, and her dog is really in his face. I think I know who this girl is, but this was up. Pay attention to your pets. And a hit dog will holler. Pay attention to your pets. I remember this one guy, he was trying to tell me a bunch of lies. He was lying about it. And he was saying God hates dogs because the dog barked before he gave a commandment or something. And I can't imagine God hating an animal that he made. He might have not liked what he did at that moment, but the fact that we still have dogs and they're beautiful animals and all that means that I think that man was lying on God. Like, how do you blaspheme God? And he's listening to you? Yeah. I don't know why the devil came back out with this equal give and take. Somebody is very, 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 very hard fixed on getting a relationship or equal give and take. Sir, ma'am, do you need a relationship to survive? Because that's questionable. Like, I've often heard people say, oh, I'll die without you. I'll die without you. That shouldn't be literal. Like, your life and death should not really be dependent on if you're with somebody or not. That's a whole different kind of connection I don't ever want to experience. I'm still waiting for a couple of funeral announcements now from people lying about talking about I'll die without you. Well. Liar. Anyway, we've got the Two of Swords. We got the Nine of Cups. And then we've got the Knight of Wands. I love this deck because it comes with a big old book. And I like to read the words out of it, especially because from deck to deck and from artist to artist, there might be a few things that change. So this is the Two of Swords in the Ethereal deck. There you go. Then we've got the Nine of Cups. And this man looks like he's very generous. He looks like he's very gentle. He actually looks like a friar or a monk, which means he might have discipline. I love how he's sitting, and let me straighten you out before some of my homophobic guys come for him here. This man, the way he's standing, because I've been around heterosexual men, and they take the slightest any damn thing and try to change it, all because you ain't looking at them. They just want you to look at them. It has nothing to do with the next person. Honestly, this man looks very comfortable in his cloak. He looks good. He has his things hanging here. That's his wallet. Back in the day, that was the G wallet. He's got his red beret on. He has his arms crossed over, which means he's a little standoffish, which is fine. I don't like him nice, not too damn nice. And he looks like he'll ask you a few questions. He'll actually ponder into you before he actually offers you one of these cups. He's not about that. Okay? And he'll walk off if the offer doesn't look good. The fact that his hip is like that makes me feel like he'll give you a little bit of too. I don't feel like he has any sugar in his tank. I feel like he's balanced in his feminine and his masculinity to the point where he's willing to question you a little bit before he just gives up his cup, okay? He respects himself. He looks like a man who respects himself. That's what I'm coming around to say. So, this Two of Swords gal here, she looks like she's waiting on a decision. She's contemplating, and she doesn't have all of the facts, but she is very intuitive. So she's basically weighing her options here so that she can make a decision. Blind faith is leading her. But the Knight of Wands. There is a Knight of Wands on this little nice brown blonde horse because he wants to have fun. You know, blondes have more fun, you know. He wants to offer. There's an offer. So this lady has an offer of two guys. All right. I don't know what sign takes what resonates. It could be Piscean. Let me see. I'm looking at the cards, you guys. I see some lizards. So we're going to say some water signs. I see some Pisces. I see some Cancer. Pisces, Cancer, Aries. And Leo. Pisces, Cancer, Aries, and Leo. So there's a bit of it. It's not a love triangle per se, but it's like a third party because there are three people on the board, and these two men want the attention of this one woman who's basically doing her own thing, making her own decisions, and these two men would like to be her suitors. I can't say which one is the best one. She would have to actually use her discernment. One looks like a lot of fun. He's coming in with this wooden wand. We know the one in the wands, they aren't the most abundant, but they are fun. They're adventurous, and they can stir up and create things. Okay. So he might not be very abundant, but he is able to create opportunities. Take what fits your life. And this guy, he's a bit reserved. You know, he might not be the funnest. You know, he might not be, we're going here, you're there. But in the long run, he's responsible. He's good. He's reasonable. You can conversate, and who knows? There might be a bit of fun, just not the fun that the other one, you know, you might end up in a lockup for 24 hours, but you guys will have fun. But with this guy, he's going to be a bit more responsible because he has all these things to guard. He has things to lose. So he's not going to be too much quick on the draw to lose his things. This person is adventurous. He feels as though he could lose it all and get it back. If you want to live in survival mode, if you can handle that, you take on what you can handle. If you're the person who's grounded and you got it like that and you feel like you can handle a bit of chaos in your life, by all means, have at it. But this is what that's for. Okay, so take what resonates. Second, I'm going to do 3. Okay, I'm going to do 3. Like, I like the hat because the hat makes me look more thuggish. Is when I don't have a hat on, is when I look different. I'll say that. Okay, so I think I ate all my lipstick off. And that can't happen. I love it when they get in the chat and they're like, please respond to me. I hope you come back and you look at it later and see what that looks like when you please respond to me. And the fact that you want specific services and yeah, it's wild. But my Cash App is in my bio for those who actually want a reading, who actually want me to answer their questions. This is kind of a job too, so revenue has to be built here. This platform has yet to be monetized, so I do appreciate all donations. They are not requested, but they are very well appreciated. Thank you very much. But if you do like a bit of good reading and the tea really spilt, definitely go over to Amazon and get Inside Gossip by Alexis Cisco. It's me. Yeah, it's me. It's also on rosedogbookstore.com. Also in Barnes & Noble and other platforms. I think some Walmarts have them if you Google it, right? But I know I am being across seas. There is something. Tower moment. Someone's having a tower moment. 3 of Pentacles. All right. So we having a tower moment and somebody's having a group chat about this pentacle. So there are some people strategizing. They're having a tower moment, or maybe this moment has already happened. That retreat. Someone's plans have definitely fallen through, and this is more than one person. I'm going to say like the Hateful Eight. I think I should say the Hateful Eight. If anybody remembers that movie, it was about 8 bandits that ended up stuck in the house together, and it became a survival of the fittest because there was a fugitive, Lucy Pendergast or Penderhue or whatever, and she was the sister of a guy. I don't know if they were sisters. It looked a bit incestuous. It really did. It looked like him and his sister were banging each other, but they were sister and brother, and they were the head of a gang, and they got stuck in a shanty together in the middle of the winter. Domergue. Yeah. I spit on it, John. I sure did. He punched her ass. I was like, oh my God. But it was the funniest movie. I think that's my dark. Those types of movies. I like Westerns. I like Westerns a lot. That's my dark. Like righteous vigilante type things. Ugh, weird. That's my dark though. So yeah, Lucy Domergue. Oh yeah. And the guy that spoke with the shoulders, he said, you gonna take me in a red run in these hand links, and he spoke with his shoulders. Oh my God, I love this movie. Good morning, my dear. I'll see you a little later. Go back. I'll see you later. I'll see you in a minute. So yes, the Hateful Eight. Oh shit. I just had one of those That's So Raven moments. So there is a shanty, shack, a home, a raggedy house, a domicile, a place that's holding these folks that had these plans. The tower happened, the plan failed or is failing, and it's in the midst of falling apart. So in the Hateful Eight, they had to take shelter in the winter together. Bunch of people, one common goal, to get away with something. So I think Samuel Jackson, he was a fugitive as well. He was on the run, but he was supposedly on the good side. And then they had the bandits that were already there, who had already, prior to the heroes arriving, they had already been getting rid of people. They've been already strategically setting people up and getting rid of them, because they got rid of the owner, they got rid of the shop owner, then they got rid of her attendants, they got rid of the gruesome way that they got rid of the farmhand, the one that helped with the horses. They got him to help, because if he was in there, it would have never happened. They lured him outside. Someone else lured him outside and around the back. And that's how they were able to separate them and get them apart to where that they got them away. And the way that they did it was they had an Indian man pretend he was a Mexican. But they kept leaning on. This is how Samuel found out that that man wasn't a Mexican, because Minnie don't like Mexicans. She don't like dogs, and she don't like Mexicans. And the way he found out was because there was a Mexican in there who actually said he was able to disarm Minnie and cook in her kitchen. And everybody know about women with these type of arms. You don't come in our kitchen lest we give you permission. So there had to be a lot of heavy lying and a lot of heavy playing around and setup in order for her to let that man in her kitchen. Bear with me, I'm cooking like Minnie was. Remember, because they kept mentioning the stew, and the stew was the same. Something's being cooked up. It's at least 8 people. 8. It's 8. It's karma. It's karma. But it's the Hateful Eight. All these people don't like each other, but they depend on each other to get money as a way to live. But there's a bandit, and there's a few that are more loyal to the cause than the others are. I did say it was something kind of questionable about that guy who they had on that chair. And he was, and he was the oldest one, and he was the most spooked. That's because he had the most to lose. And remember what Samuel Jackson said he did to his son? He said he made his son strip down naked, and he took advantage of his son in his most needful moment. So even though Samuel ended up being a good guy, he was capable of some really, 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 really sick stuff. You remember what Samuel said he made that boy do, that man son do in the middle of somebody try to stop me, in the middle of the desert. In the middle of the desert. Oh my goodness, it's funny. In the middle of the desert, he made that man son strip, and he made him service him in the middle of the desert. That black man took advantage of that man, that Confederate man's son. That's what it is. You take advantage of people's kids. It's somebody trying to keep me from knowing that they are a part of abusing children straight up like that. And it must be in my realm somewhere, because it's heavy and somebody just don't want me to say it. Somebody is guilty of child abuse. Straight like that. And I mean recent, and I mean in the most horrible way, and they don't want it to be admitted, and they don't want it to be found out. But the thing about it is, kids remember, they get traumatized so bad that they bury it deep down, but some part of their memory acts it out, and they keep acting it out until they're able to say it again. And I mean, we're coming to the point where a lot of people are healing, and a lot of people are remembering what was done to them, and they're remembering why people were so mean to them, because these people needed them to forget, or they needed them to conveniently not be able to say it, or conveniently never be able to rehatch the thing and tell. There's a lot of people keeping people from telling right now, whatever it is. But it's too many people too heavy with keeping these secrets. It's too heavy. It's too heavy to carry. It's too heavy a burden. That's why a lot of people are glitching out, because they're carrying things in their psyche that they have no business or no responsibility. They should not have to carry these burdens and these secrets. It's a heaviness of carrying it. And it's both men and women out here carrying secrets they have no business having to carry. Deeds that they had no business being witness to, or being privy to, or being a part of. However, they were subjected to it because they had no autonomy at the time. And as they grew older, it became very, very, very clear that the people who were guilty of it needed them to be in an altered state to where people could not believe them or would not believe them, and their word was not their bond. Because at a point in time in our life, our word was our bond, until somebody decided to cash that bond in and spend it. Now we're in a deficit, a worldly deficit of actually having those bonds spent. The bonds have been spent. I hate how long it takes me to come around to say the words that need to be said. Okay, third spread. This was just the two to see where we were. Third spread. Congratulations on everybody who's having a great day. Congratulations that you woke up. Congratulations that you are here. Congratulations. Happy birthday to those who are having a birthday. This is Pisces season. We're out of the cusp, so we're in definite Pisces. So this is of your highest. Be of your highest. Breathe at your highest. Live at your highest. Okay? Do the best you can. Be blameless in a world of your own conviction. And sometimes that means you have to atone to your own self. Your inner child is waiting for you to purge. They're waiting for you to join them in the value that you had from the beginning. You had a value. From the beginning, you had a value. Don't let anybody ever diminish your value from the beginning. From the beginning, you had a value. Someone came about and tried to damage your value, take away from your value, or distort your value, but you still have value. Are you valuable to you? That. What you watching? What you watching? Let me check. I didn't ask for that. Claymation penguins. Sometimes what he's watching helps me a little bit to get my message out, especially if I'm stuck on a word, because right now I feel like I'm stuck on a word. It was in the snow. Hateful Eight was in the snow. He's watching a penguin and claymation. So somebody's still trying to set a stage, or they're setting something up. I think it's something being worked on. I think this is a project. The well, very deep, very deep. This is a deep situation. This situation has layers, and it has lots of people. I told you, see, the Hateful Eight. These are the people that sit in that house together. These are the people that sit in that house on that bullshit. They hate each other, but they can't leave each other, because that's the loyalty they have each other, is that hate. It's the hate that bonds them. Whether it be hating each other, or hating someone else, or hating their own life, or hating their circumstances, it's the hate that bonds them. I don't know why the alphabet people are on this card. See? It's like everybody. Put in the chat if you see somebody you recognize. By the way, there is a real ginger involved. There's somebody with red hair involved. I'm talking about in the fighting side, the negative side. There's old, there's young, there's men, there's women, there's different races. Some fight dirty, some fight dirty. Some are professional at this fight. Some people been doing it for a long time. Some old, they just, got a stake in it. I'm just looking at this woman with the stick behind her back. So it seems like somebody's got a hidden move that nobody knows about. It's like they got one in the pocket. You see? It's like she's got a hidden move. You see the one in the black right there with the stick behind her back? Somebody's got a hidden move. Let me see what the well is, because I don't pull the well that often, and I need to see what the well is. I don't pull the well often at all. I don't pull the well or the artist often at all. So I pulled the artist yesterday, which definitely means that this is a bigger program than we all believe it is, and creativity needs to happen. I guess eventually we'll get back to creating families if there aren't some families already still being created, but it's a different type of family that needs to be created now. I think I went into that for a few yesterday about the intermingling and the, what are you doing? And the separation thereof. I have no idea what this boy and the maid falling in the bathroom, but I heard like bottles, like shampoo bottles, soap bottles. I'm about to get up and go look, because I really do want to see. It sounds like he putting it back up. One thing I will say about him is he will clean up after himself. And this is how you know. This is how you know. Some people are weaponizing incompetency because they just want to bother you. They want to piss you off. They want to keep you in like a cycle of just astonishment and shock and paralyzed incompetence. I call it paralyzed incompetence because you can't move the way you want to. You got to move the way you have to, because they keep doing things that affect you. The well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix whose knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. Nurturing opportunity, nature, creativity. Destruction, endings, cold, and stagnant. So I have the well and I have the wand. So yeah, this is basically what's happening right now. We're trying to create a better situation going toward the future. And sometimes you have to let these people fight amongst themselves while you clear away from the chaos. Right under that was the Magician. Right under that was the Hermit. This is a magical time of manifestation for those of us who are seeking a better way of life, and it will happen. We have the Eight of Swords, which is a karmic number, which is the 8 in the swords, and still blinded, still in faith, still binded. Okay, so we're going to allow these people with the infighting to bind themselves. to this karma spirit. We're going to allow them to do that. We're going to step out of their way and allow them to fold in on themselves, right? Because this is what they do. Sometimes you cannot keep fighting against something. You have to pivot in a way. So in a way, I'm going to act as the well and create a solution here. The solution is to disconnect. If their solution to everything was to connect to us, then the only solution is to disconnect from them. Very simple, no sweat. Might be a little stressful because you were their entrance. You were their protection by being in your light, by being in your realm, by being in proximity to you, positive one. You were able to spiritually protect everyone around you by way of being a good person, by way of contributing to humanity, by way of making the right decisions when the wrong decisions are presented in such a good manner. You have accumulated dharma, which is good karma, good energy, positive reinforcement in your life. And because you've been around karmics or connected to karmatic people, they have been protected by you and your deeds. This is why they come around, but they do not change. It is because of your proximity that they have not received the karma that you feel as though they need to receive. It is because you still connect to them. It is because you still help. You still reach out. You still have a listening ear, that you share some of their bad juju, their karmic energy. So by disconnecting from not only karmic people, you have to disconnect from your own karmic ways. You have to go in and see the things that you do that makes you a karmic, or you have to go in and see why you attract karmics, or why being in the company of karmics is comfortable. Sometimes you're not comfortable. It's just that you haven't read the signs. You don't understand why you have been healthy all year. Now all of a sudden you're getting sinus infections back to back. Your body's starting to ache. Things aren't working as good in your life. You used to didn't have so many interruptions in your peace, but yet you do. Now there are things happening with your mail. Sometimes you have more malfunctions in you got malfunctions in your appliances in your home. You stub your foot more. Like, some people have that type of energy, and it's very subtle because you're thinking, oh, I just got bad luck. No, you have bad juju, which means you have bad people in your energy. I remember I was dealing with someone who I deemed the devil right now, and he was on his way to come and get me. And he called me on the phone, and he said, I'm here, I'm coming. And as I was going toward the steps to meet him, I nearly broke my damn neck falling down the steps. And when he got there, and I told him about it, something made me tell him about it and watch him in his face. And when I told him about it, it's like he didn't laugh, but he wasn't concerned. It looked like he wanted to smirk. And I said, I got off the phone with your ass and I damn near broke my neck. It's you. And he looked at me, and for a minute, because other people were there, it was like I surprised him by saying, it's you. Because it seemed like ever since I've been around you, I get blemishes on my skin. I bump into things more often. Like, I misstep. You know, like, I go to spend stuff at the store and it takes so long for the transaction to show up at the bank. Little confusing things of that nature. Things that just knock you off. And you're trying to figure out because this person can't be, it's not really them. They're not that powerful. It's the energy that's that powerful. It's the bad deeds that have grown over time. And if you be around a person who is rotten from the inside and they look good on the outside, can you imagine? I've had that type of fruit. It looks good. You open it and it looks red on the inside. I think they've stuck it with something. But or you see a brown spot on the inside, or you see that soft spot in the apple, like they are that type of people. It's not that they're powerful, it's just that the amount of bad deeds have accumulated to the point where it has generated an energy around them. It is put a bad energetic negative field around them. And because they have come into your good energy, you are able to dissolve a bit of it. You're able to actually make a bit of their darkness into light. You bring a gray area to a place that's been dark. And if you should steal your light away from a person who's never even seen the gray in their dark, and they finally get to see it, they're like, hey, it's something different out here for me. And you snatch it away. Oh, that person is going to try to dig their claws in, either directly or by proximity. They're going to find a way to try to get connection from you. They might make you clickbait, just mention your name a lot to where people are speaking bad on you because they've told so many stories. Oh, this person hurt me. This person stole from me. This person gave me this. This person did that to me. This person kicked my dog. They'll probably be lying. In most cases, they will. But this person is now going to wage war on you because they couldn't wage war in you. You didn't let them stay and continue, if you haven't already, let them mess up your credit. You didn't let them stay and run up your bills. You didn't let them stay and run up your blood pressure. You didn't let them stay and get a chance to poison you. You didn't stay and let them get a chance to stress you out to the point of an aneurysm. You didn't let them stay to the point where they got to sleep with your sister. You didn't let them stay to the point where they got to sleep with your cousin. But if you did let them stay and they got to the point where they did that, that's when they've dug their hands into you. If they get a chance to do something impressionable to you before you get rid of them, that's their form of energetic toxic attachment. And as long as you have toxicity in you, they can still energetically be attached to you. So a lot of times you have to shift your life. You have to do some things. You have to eradicate the enemy in your life because that's what attracted this person to you. This is what made this person be able to come in, because if you, karma, if you were able to identify the enemy in your life, this person would have never had an end. And this is why some people don't teach you, because they've been the enemy. And if they were to ever describe what the enemy looks like to you, they're afraid that you're going to look at them in their true light. So this is why a lot of generations have gone by without trying to illuminate the next generation, is because the enemy looks a lot like them. And for a lot of us, the enemy has been them. And if they were to ever teach you the traits and the ways of the enemy, you would not be around them. So it is indeed their investment in their ambitions that victimized you. There was an investment in your victimization, whether they knew it or not, even if it was just the investment of not letting you know that they were capable of such things and have done and will do again. See, sometimes getting rid of the deed is actually admitting to the deed itself so that you can go about and dismantle it from the inside out. There's no way to eradicate if you're not able to address it. If it's not directed, it's not respected, right? So it has to be a direct affront to the situation. You have to address it. You have to atone for it. You have to be able to say the thing that was done, and you need to be able to go into why you did it and break it down. And you don't need to break it down to any man, even though there was a man in the physical realm that you did offend. Whether it was a woman or a man, there was a human that did get offended and does deserve an apology, but they should not wait and hold up their life for your apology, for it might not ever come. For some men never turn back toward the deeds that they do. So I don't know what cleansing and eradication means for you, an atonement, and I don't know how far into the karmic debt that you got, and I don't know how far your generations have been, because sometimes we're not clearing up just our karma. We're not clearing up the karma from here now. We're clearing up karma from way back when our ancestors were so overwhelmed that they had not the time to even sit and think about the things that they've done wrong and the things that they've allowed wrongly done and the things that have been done to them. A lot of our ancestors, I don't care what color your ancestor was, a lot of our ancestors were so steeped in the warfare, and it had to keep going like, it had to keep going like a Gatling gun. The stuff kept going so fast that none of them got a chance to unwind or debrief. You know, today's when you see the debriefing, when you see the press conference, it goes so fast, like boom. They think they're giving us information. They're just giving you a flash of information. They're giving you the impression of giving you information, but there's still so much going on when they give that press conference. And this is what the debriefing looks like now. The debriefing is not even a debriefing. It's just an illusion of transparency, but it is not the real debriefing. Debriefing takes time. Shadow work takes time. It takes commitment, and it also takes surrendering. Like, you have to not be afraid of the monster that you had to become. You have to be not afraid of the monster that you had to witness. You have to not be afraid of the monster, and you have to dismantle it letter by letter, syllable by syllable. You have to dismantle the monster from inside out in order to be able to see the monsters in front of you and chase them away. In a way, I guess this is Monsters University. But why would I want to store a child's scream? Ice cream. Ice cream. We all scream for ice cream. Yeah. When we screamed, or when no one heard our screams, or when nobody believed our scream, it was still a scream. They took away the S and they made it cream. They made it so soft. They made it sugary. They made it confectionery, and they just made it ice cream. Think about the times you've been taken for ice cream right after those things happened. That was your reward. Ice cream. They take your tonsils out. Don't they usually give you ice cream? That's the message. Till then, take care of each other. Love you. Love yourself. Love your kids. It's going to be okay. Ascension is happening. Don't come for me, because somebody's spinning you. This has been Nyx.